Greetings, Saberites! Nonymous here. Next installment of our Ataru for Everyone, how to regress and use the different suma in our Ataru system. So today we're going to go over Ton Suma, which is related to the frontal plane here. Okay, well actually it would be the sagittal plane. That's the plane of movement that you're working in. This right here. So that would be somersaults, flips, that kind of thing going over here. Now, as I did mention in the other one, all three of the suma are really present in all movement. We can't really help that because we move in 3 dimensions, but we have to know kind of where each of these suma rotations is. So really what we're going to talk about is this here, this motion like this, okay? And that's what we call hip hinge, right? Now the hip hinge is used in a lot of things. Actually, it's probably used in almost everything that you do. Everything like from walking upstairs to squatting down, to pick something up, getting in and out of chairs, all of that kind of thing. What's important to realize is that it is from the hip. And if I put this here, when I go like this, it's my hip that's moving and I'm not bending at the back. Okay, that's the important thing there. This forward momentum or force that's going right here obviously adds a little bit of power to our strikes. That way. Okay, and the opposite this way. Okay, it's that. And then also remember that not only is it the production of this, but it's also the resistance of it. So when something tries to bend you in half, you can resist that. And that a lot of times has to do with the deceleration of your weapon or being able to follow through in a target. Now, the body motion itself, like I said, is used in a whole lot of things. If you can't do, obviously I can't do a flip, and I've never been able to do a front flip, but a roll is a good thing to work on. Learning how to roll out of falls, all of that kind of thing can keep you very, very safe. However, you want to be doing that under the direction of an experienced individual who knows what to watch out for to keep you safe, because there's a lot of risk for injury there. So we're not going to go into the roll aspect of it, but you can't do a roll. Either you're on rough terrain, you're in a confined space, something like that. Rolls don't really work, right? It doesn't matter, because really what we're doing is we're learning how to move through and follow through this motion here. Now, besides producing force to strike something, we also have throws, manipulation, and wrestling that comes a lot from the hip. So I'll have Ryan come in here and help me demonstrate some of these techniques. So if we look at some of the jumps, one of them that stands out is the butterfly kick. The butterfly kick being this right here, where I jump up in that manner. So a lot of people say, well, what's that for? Because are you really going to kick somebody in the head like that? Are you really going to kick that high or kick like that? And obviously, no. It would be foolish just to try doing that at somebody from a distance. That would just be ridiculous. However, what it does train is it trains good throwing mechanics. Okay, the bending down here and then the exploding off of this leg and lifting up the other leg is a way that we do specific throws. Now we can put our sabers down here and I'll just show you the throw. Okay, and let's see, I'll start on this side. So if we start over here, and I'm going to do one of these types of butterfly kick type throws.
Okay.
What happens here is I'll be here. I start from this position here. Now here's where my body is. I do the tonsuma here a little bit. Now I'm going to explode off this leg. Okay? And that explosion, and then this leg, just make sure that his feet go up in the air rather than being able to reposition. Let's do it from this side.
Right.
So you can see it from this angle. All right. So again, from this position here, coming in here, notice I'm in do-back rider already, and since I have that flex here in the hip, he's bending over already. I can already feel him being there. And now what I want to do is balance him on my hip by leaning over even more, and then I turn this way, and I just pop his legs up. Okay. Obviously, I'm not letting him fall. We don't have a mat.
Appreciate it.
But obviously, you can see that can happen. Now, you're not necessarily going to do the whole leg reap when you're doing weapons, and especially with lightsabers, right? However, that throw and that mechanics is still very, very applicable. If we go here, and we'll just go real slow here, we come into a bind up like this. Let's say that all of a sudden we start lifting up here in the air, and yeah, we'll say he's going over that way. I can grab up here at his hands, keeping this here, and step around this way. Now you see here is where that movement comes in, right there. Now if we do it quick, okay. Nice. That's what will happen, right? Obviously, when you're practicing, don't let go of your partner, right? When you do it for real, or whatever, you obviously are using a let. Or if you have mats, and that's, again, another advantage to doing it with protective equipment and stuff like that, is you can take things to their full conclusion. Now, we're not going to do that here, but you can probably see the principle at work, okay? And again, all I have to do is clear this weapon, and usually all I'm going to do is come up over here, wrap over like this. Now here's where I get into my do-back. If I do it right, he's already way bent over. I don't really much have to do anything more than turn. And he's going to come down, and his weapon is right there for me to grab. Gotcha. Okay. Now, of course, you can go to either side. If I'm over here and I go over this way, now here's where I want to be. And that's a little bit different because I'm going off the front. Okay? But the principle in my body is the same. When I get in here, I want to press up right next to it. Right? I usually want to hug part of his body to mine. Obviously, I want to keep his weapon under control. Right? Either with his arms or with mine. Right? And again, I want my body right up against his so that when I turn, it's okay. He doesn't have any way to reorient. Okay? Now, if you cannot do a full butterfly kick, that's okay. You can still practice this motion. Even if you do it by yourself this way. Right? And we go from do back here, swing your body over like that, get up into front stance. Right? Same thing over here. Okay? So a swinging of the body that way. Right? Now, when we practice it with the weapon, we're practicing it like this. Okay? Because we're trying to follow through in that way. So this wheel thing is where that power is. And again, one is producing the motion, one is resisting. When I'm doing this is much more resistance on top of me, And when I'm doing this thing, it's more like resistance is in front of me. Okay? So basically, if you can't do a full butterfly kick, it's very, very easy to regress here. All I have to do is I go here, I'm going to bring this foot over here, and then I just hop. Okay? Just like before, when we were doing the tornado kick, it's the same thing here, and then you just reorient that foot. Okay? So if I go here, okay, that's perfectly okay. Right? Because even if you go this far off the ground, that's you basically exerting enough force to lift up however much your body weight is off of the ground that high for that long, right? And that's not easy. So when you have somebody on you, we'll just go this way so you can see. So step forward. Right here. When you have somebody on top of your hip like this and you lift up, they go up as well, right? The more I get over here, the better that's going to be, because the more on his body as possible, right? If I'm here, he steps forward, there, and I can get him here, like this. We're getting into a different type of thing, but it's the same thing. I bend over, and then I just make sure that I keep that leg up. But notice that I'm not kicking it very high, right? And I don't have to push him up very high, right? All I have to do is get under him a little bit and then pop him up a little bit. Okay? So, when you're doing it and you look at like butterfly kicks, that kind of thing, don't really think of it as trying to kick somebody with your feet, right? It's more of a leg reaping throw, a way to sweep somebody off of their feet, right? Grabbing them here, and then tossing them out. Jumping allows your body to overcome resistance, and quite frankly, to overcome a very realistic resistance, because it's your own body weight, okay? And the only thing that you're going to be required to lift is somebody's own body weight, right? Not necessarily yours, okay? People will range and that kind of thing. That will depend on whether or not you want to do that, but that's okay. So, don't be intimidated by the Ataru Suma, especially the jumping kicks. This is kind of how they're used. This is why they're done this high. You don't have to do them that high. You don't have to do them that fancy, right? As long as you get the movement in it, there's a lot of application and a lot of value in those particular exercises. All right, so thanks to Ryan for helping me out. Thanks to you for joining in. We will talk to you later. Have a great day. Happy sabering.